Alright, so in this quick tip, I want to show you how to do a burning path, which looks something like this. So this is a requested tutorial from one of you from the YouTube comments. So let me just delete this and make it from scratch. So first we just need to make a box. You can't really make a plane because you need a closed piece of geometry in order for it to work with Phoenix. So we need a box. And maybe let's give it 100 length and 100 width segments. And that's because of the vertex paint. So I'm gonna go under modifiers and select the vertex paint just like we did earlier in this course. And you can click show shaded view. And then we need to make everything black. So just click on this bucket and then change the color to white and pick the brush. And you can just paint a random path that you want. And then we need to add an edit poly modifier on top of this. And I'm gonna select polygon, and we need to select just all of the top polys. So I'm gonna go into the left view and select everything and then hit Alt, hold Alt and just deselect the bottom. So you only have the top polys, and I'm gonna make those our usual ID 10. Let's create a Phoenix Fire source and a Phoenix Fire grid. And for the source, we need to add the box as our source. And now we need to give it a texture map so that only the white portion will burn. And we want to modify it so that it will burn gradually from left to right. So I'm going to go into the material editor. And you can start by just picking a standard V-Ray material to have in your slot. So this will work. And then for the diffuse map slot, just click on that and select the V-Ray comp texture. And for the source A, I'm gonna click on no map and select the vertex color. And you can go back out of that into the higher level. So source A is the vertex color map, and source B is gonna be our gradient map. For source B, just click on no map and select the standard gradient. So now you can just double click on that so you can see what you have. And basically we need to set the operator to multiply because we want to gradually reveal this. And then in the gradient setup, I'm gonna set color 1 to white and color 2 and color 3 to black. So I had to play around with this for a while to get it to work, but I know that this will work. So now as you can see, basically you are revealing source A, which is the vertex color, which right now is showing as green and yellow. And you are gradually revealing it with the gradient using the multiply operator, right? So now if I just move the color to position, you can see that I'm slowly hiding or revealing the source A with the source B. So now actually what you can do is just go to frame 0 and hit auto key and make color position 1, which means that everything is hidden. And then you can go to frame 100 and set color position to 0, which means that everything is revealed. So now if I drag my timeline, you can see that I'm gradually revealing source A, which is our path. So I'm gonna deselect auto key. Now the only thing is that it's gonna be very uniform as far as the edge of the path. So you want to go under noise, and you can set the noise amount to maybe something like 0.2 and you're going to get some noise. Maybe you can set it to fractal and set the size to maybe 0.3 or something like that. And then you need to play with the noise threshold to control where the noise actually is. So I would maybe do something like, you can set both to 0.5 to start. And then you just want one of them to be slightly higher than the other. So maybe the high one can be 0.55 and the low one can be something like 0.45. And they should give you a nice little transition between the two. Maybe that's still a bit too much. So I'm gonna just adjust this even more, bring them closer together. So this looks pretty good. And then you can just go back into the parent level and just copy that whole map and paste it into the mask for your outgoing velocity. So I'm just gonna say paste instance, run the simulation and see if it's working. And I think one more thing we forgot to do is go down here and set the polygon ID to 10. So that we're only burning the top polygon and not the edges here. So let me stop the sim again and run it again. And I can tell that everything is working. So now I would just go back under preview, and as always enable the GPU preview, and it's super blown out. So now you can just go under rendering, volumetric options, fire, and lower the fire multiplier until you get some nicer fire. So maybe just 0.02. And that's it, that's your path. And if you feel like maybe you don't like the noise very much, you can always go back into the gradient map, and you can maybe switch it to turbulence to see what kind of results you get. Okay, that's pretty bad. So let's go back to fractal, and you can even animate the phase of the noise so it keeps changing, so it's not the same pattern. So you can animate the phase and you'll get some different sort of edges down here. And don't forget that this is still super low res, so you're basically seeing the individual voxels right now. That's how low res it is. So I can just stop the sim, I can go back under grid, and as always I can just increase the resolution and give us a ton more. Here you go. So we're getting some pretty nice fire edge right now as the fire is sort of spreading around. And of course you can always go back and animate how fast this is burning just by moving the keyframe. So you might need to apply the material to the box, so you can select the keyframe and you can just move the keyframe closer, and it'll go from 1 to 0 faster for the color 2 position, which means that the path will burn faster. So I hope all this makes sense. If you didn't manage to catch the texture setup, feel free to just open the project file and look at how this is set up. But super fun, pretty easy. Hope you love this. That's it.